Getting live, getting live. 1, 2, 3. Alright, guys, welcome. I'm going to wait for this last thing to tick and then we'll begin for real this time instead of half for real. Which is slightly annoying, but whatever. It's that one. Okay, good. We are live. Okay, good. Welcome, everybody. We are live. Today is September 29th. We are ready to go. And let's see. Should be a pretty good day today. We're going to be setting up some games. Game heroes. Should be easy to do. Let's just post this last link. Okay, there we go. All right, we're ready to get launched. How's everybody doing today? Let's see. And there we go. Okay. Just didn't want to blast off potentially half private messages. Okay, y'all ready? Let's go. So, pulling some changes from my laptop. A little false start there on YouTube, but whatever. People will come back if they care. Okay, what am I doing? So what I need to do today is get more than one character running around doing stuff. Right now we have one guy. We need a couple more. So this guy, he jumps. He can jump across this hole. Dies. Ooh, that's not the latest code. Where is my latest code? Oh, I have the latest code, I just didn't compile it. I have the game split into DLLs. So, you fall in the hole, boom, can't move anymore, you're dead. So, good, happy that people got back on. See here. So I got it to where you can switch between these a million times. Something that a lot of people don't understand is that this game engine here, let's do memory. We'll sort by memory. So no matter how many times I swap this thing around like this, there's no change in memory. It doesn't get bigger. We're still at the same amount of megabytes. Interesting. I could click and add some things, and we're still at 127 megabytes of memory. Now, when I start the program, before I load a DLL, the game engine's at 175, and it goes up and down, but that might be memory that's out of my control. But the stuff that's in my control, ooh, that was a big jump. Ooh, what? No! That is not good. Okay, I can't have my game engine be that messed up. Look at me bragging about how good my stuff is, and then I find something wrong. Alright, F1. F1 should do to get Get all the DLLs in the list. Yeah, okay, I remember how I wrote this. This is very poorly. How can it increase that fast though? Let me think about this. Load directory, file extensions. That's something from Raylib. And then there's this get file name extension. So what are you? DLL list. You're this. I think I have to do no. That's in the stack. Okay, what am I doing that's making this a reality? Say it's not the DLL list. Yeah, no, it is. It is. So this. File name. This thing. This is the thing. File name only list. Oh, we're using that. That's a pointer. Okay, so then what are we pointing to? We're setting the count. We're copying things. Something in here might be the problem. This is DLL win, so this is mine. Let's see if we're allocating anything. So we've got our buffer, we've got an input buffer, and that buffer. What are we passing in? We're passing in each path item. So now we're going through. Yeah, no, I don't see the issue here. So why would that? Why am I? Well, anyways, one could get stuck on things like this, but this is not that important to what I'm trying to demonstrate. So once the game's loaded and set up, I can load levels, and I don't need to allocate additional memory. I'm not freeing the memory. I'm also not leaking memory. So I can make like 100 levels and they'll load instantly because they're just code. So that's nice. So I've got a jump. I probably should have this guy's thing would be a slash, and then wherever you point your, I guess I could have it to where you shoot. I'm trying to figure out my controls here. But yeah, he would do a slash. Blue guy would do a shield. And I'm probably going to do shield where when you hold down shield, it points in the direction of your last movement. So if you're facing the right and you hold shield and you move up, it'll stay facing the right. For now, I don't have things in the game yet that would require that. I probably want to not draw him as a sprite for the sake of debugging right now. So I'm going to draw anything that's blue means it's kind of like dead. I should probably add an entity or an entity state, like a flag that says something's dead. Because if it's dead, you can't control it anymore. And so for the player, that would be a really nice way to just say, hey, like your movements, you do not influence the movements anymore. Game state, entity. I was right with what I was looking for to begin with. Is the entity. Okay, great. So something being dead doesn't mean that it's to be like removed. It just means it's not around anymore. Interesting. How does that even work? Whatever. Not gonna dive into compiler issues. Okay, so I've added the be dead And so wherever I was using befalling, because befalling just means you can't move, but I'm going to also have it be if you're dead, you aren't going to be able to control the thing. Or, great. So now the entities themselves are going to need some sort of hit points. So we'll add hit points. Let's do them up here. Int hit points. And we'll start everyone with that, and then we'll have int extra points, extra hit points. And then we'll start off with 3, and then 0 extra hit points. And that will be a great start. So then we'll do underscore init. First init is in Puzzle Quest. Init first. All right, and then we got our player characters. So I want everything to have hit points. No, I don't. I want the things that need hit points to have. So sword guy will start with 3 hit points. Everybody starts with 3. Run. Shield. Okay, and then there's some issues here. So I need to, in the level loader, I need to make it to where you can create an init entity by type. That one. I want to run init entity by type. Game state pointer entity. Yes, so this is the code I would run. So we'll jump back into, oh, you know what? Where are we using this? Snap to grid. So the problem here is setting entity type. We should be setting entity type in here. We are. Good. So when I init it, is there anything else we're doing? We're doing position. Yeah, so snap to grid would be good. And then I could just do snap to grid on the 3 main guys I'm making. So instead of starting at 50, so we could do shield. Let's see, what does snap to grid say? So it's giving me the result. So instead, I would do int shield guy entity. You know what? Game state pointer entity ID shield guy equals PQ init entity by type ID, and then we can do. Interesting. That's not it. It's create. What is it? Add snap to grid. There we go. Game state pointer, and then we could do shield guy, and then we can do 50. So 50. What is the closest to 16? I think it's 16 times 3. So we'll do 16 times 3. So what does this do? This takes those values, divides by, yeah, so we could just put in what we had before and it will snap into the grid. Okay. So he's made. So now I want to create this for the shield guy, which would be these things. These things. Shield guy, run guy. Great. All right, so now we just need to make 3 methods in here. Shield guy, run guy. Okay, great. So now we want to jump into this one here. Get this stuff. Copy. Paste. copy, paste, and then we just want to do, oh no, entity. We don't need game state pointer. We're going to take this to this. Great. And the last one. Okay. So we don't need that. That one. It's good. Those can go away. Okay, so we just copied this stuff over. Gone. Positions being handled there. We're already setting the shield thing there, so we get rid of that, and that's the first one. Okay, next would be this guy. Uh-oh. No. Snap to grid should be shield guy entity type, and this should be entity type run guy. There we go. And then this will be 150. Great, we got position done. We want all of this stuff down here. Great. Jump in here. So run guy. Next. So now we've got run guy's gone. Then we do the sword guy, which would be from here to here. Do another one of these. Add snap to grid. Sword guy. 50, 150 position, and that's gone. Cut this out, delete that. Perfect. Oh no! Sometimes when you do a cut like that, it just short circuits itself. Okay, so we got all that stuff done. We don't need this, nor this. And sword guys there. Gone. Active guys, that one. Run it. Okay. He's still going fast. He's jumping over the holes. He can jump over a 2-hole. It's kind of slow. Dead. Slow. This guy's pretty slow and dead. Okay, great. Now we want to do draw texture pro, shield guy render. We're not drawing textures for you anymore, so we'll do that. Great. So now we need to also turn off the shader because we're not running him through a shader anymore. Okay, so he's blue, and then when there's a problem, he'll turn red. So let's do what we did for the falling one for speed guy. So his is blue by default, so his can be light blue when he's dead. How about blue? What kind of blues we got? Sky blue. So he'll start out as sky blue, and then he'll go blue when he's done. Put that in here. Wonderful. Go to the next guy, which will be the sword guy. Speed guy, shield guy, sword guy. Okay, color green. Run. Okay, dead. 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 Good. Okay, initialization technique solved for the Herods. The Herods. The heroes. Excuse me. All right. Cool. So level 1, I want all the guys to start in different locations. So let's do that. I want the run guy to stay where he is. I want everybody else to move a decent amount away. Alright, so load level 1. Okay, too far. Okay, a little bit better. So shield guy, you need to move twice as far left and half up. All right, and then that guy down here, he can move, I'd say 14, and then we'll move him down one more. Great, run that. Good. Nope, not good. We don't need that right wall anymore. So let's get rid of the right wall. Okay. So instead of having the pit be here, and you have to jump through to get out, I'm going to have it to where the pit is right here. Like that. And this is the new hole. Matter of fact, I'm just going to move this one up. So this is 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 up. 3, 4 on the holes, 4 holes. 3, 4 on the 4 holes. 3 to the left. This makes this 7. 7, 8, 8. And then 4 would make this 6, 7, 6, 7. Great. Next we don't, oh, that's, it needs to go up one more. No, what are you doing? This is where the land is. You need walls all across here. Great, so you have to build your map editor now. Isn't that fun? So what did I have tab doing? Tab do anything? No. So we're gonna press tab and it's gonna allow us to place stuff in the world. And then I probably need to move the camera around in tab mode. So tab mode can be our edit mode. Okay, and we'll make this all debug only stuff, so this is underscore debug. And if, okay, and then we'll have howdy, hello TMX, map editor mode. So now if we're in map editor, we can go underscore init first, right here. All right, we're gonna set you up with false. Great. Next we want to go to ads. All right. Ads are annoying. I don't think I have ads on YouTube yet, though. There we go. So now we have the map editor. Just 5 of them, too. I like 5 of them. Yeah. They're really making sure they make their pennies off of me. Little do they know. Okay, so we want to draw kind of a selection window of all my various entity types. You know what? Let's just assume that I can go. Wait, I was sitting there like, oh, let's assume that I can like iterate through an enum list. It's like, yeah, you can. It's really easy to. You just iterate through it. Okay, so we're gonna draw a rectangle. Okay, let's do this again. If debug. Yeah, I just don't want any of this map editor stuff showing up, and I don't really care to make a separate program. Made it through the gauntlet. Good. Thank you for your service. Hopefully you liked your Domino's or Papa John's ads and other cringe things that aren't food related. Okay, so we press tab. Map editor's on. We're going to draw a rectangle, and it's going to be a big circle. Yeah, big circle. How about a on the right side of the screen? So this is the thing. If I want on the right side of the screen, I got to know how big my window is. Also, if I want to draw it on the UI, so it shouldn't be in here. It should be on the UI. But if I draw on the UI, it's going to be all scaled, messed up. No. Okay, so why don't I just try out UI render and see how bad it looks. So we're going to draw a rectangle. We're going to draw this one 5 pixels from the start. It's going to be 100 by 100. We're going to color it red. Okay, great. Turn it on, run. Tab. Okay, good. So that has to be 100 pixels, right? So that's 16, 32, 48, 64. Yeah, that's right. Good. With that in mind, we need to know the width of the full screen. I wonder, actually, if I do this, press this, and then full screen it. Yes, good. So the UI goes out here. That's not good. So it's not drawing in the right spot. This one's always drawing here. This other one's drawing one level above. We need it to actually draw where I'm drawing the thing up here. So I have a couple things I need to do. So UI render should be the, there's a couple different ways to do it. If I do it the way I'm thinking of right now, then when I full screen the program, I get to use the extra width on the right and the left. And that could be useful for debug stuff. But later when I want to draw stuff on the screen that's the actual UI, I might not want to do it that way and force it to be part of the screen. Whatever. It's easy to move things. So I need to get the screen width. I imagine that's probably would be a trap function. So let's make it one. Be in DLL main, trap underscore. Okay, so we need to get the width and the height. So we're going to do int trap get screen get window width. don't like the order of these. How's your day going, TMX? You guys suffered through the ads, so at least you can try to get something out of this stream, right? All right, we're gonna do this width, and then we'll do this height. Still getting warmed up for the day. But should be great. Good. Off to a good start, sounds like. Get screen width, render width, width, get width, get window width, get screen width. You know what? Let's see, that's gonna be height. So we need to do width. All right, let me just have a look here because I have the source code, of course. So let's take a look. Interesting. Screen width, get screen width is in raylib-h. So raylib-h has to have another thing of that. Is it here? Yes. Core screen width. Yeah, okay, it's the window. That's what I wanted. Perfect. So now that I have that, I can then minus the width of the thing and 5. So we're going to do that. We'll do, for here, we'll do trap, window. You know what I need? Do I need that? No. Trap, get, window, width, bam, bam, minus 100, minus 5. That'll put it on the right side of the screen. Did it? I don't see it. Okay. Let's do 500. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, I could see how that would be wrong. Yeah, because we're... Oh, okay. So the problem I was bringing up or noticing earlier is actually already happening. So we'll have to go deal with it. So there's UI, which would be on top of the render texture, and then there's UI that would be on top of the screen at the highest level. So they're two different things. There's GM UI render, but then there should be GM screen render. Okay, so this is the screen size right here. So if I look at here, and yeah, GC UI render, and the GC UI render is used here, UI render, jump back into here, BM call. So this is doing, it's rendering to a virtual 320 by 224. Problem is that the placement of it is a little off because this virtual here versus this one is being rendered at a point and the other one is not. So let's just think about this. So GC render, UI render. Why does the screen size mess this up? They're both the same. So why would it do that? Oh, no. This is like a really pain in the butt. Let's see if we're doing the UI render different. Okay. UI space camera. World space camera. Clear the background. Clear the background. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day. They're both in 2D mode. They're both using a camera. How is world space different? World space versus world space versus UI space. I don't get why the UI camera is so different. Ooh, it's down here. This is it. Okay. So we've got begin drawing. We've got all this stuff going on here. Revert rectangle. We're calculating all of this stuff up here. Virtual screen, height, width, times scale. So should be placing it in the right spot. But it isn't. I bet you the UI space camera and the other camera have different screen space camera. Screen space camera. UI space camera. Ah, okay. I think the issue is that... Oh, shoot. There's screen and there's world. So what are we doing with screen? Because if we're here, we're drawing the texture to the screen. But we're doing the rendering here. So we're doing UI world space. Okay, fine. World space camera. And then here it says UI space camera, screen space camera. Let's do a quick check. Okay, and jump back to here. Let's just do wait, why was I doing minus 500? Okay, yeah, I was trying to test to see something. Okay, so this should be putting itself at the top left here. So to fix this, I've got to go over here. It's going to break my other games, but whatever. Did this wrong. Did I break this game? Yeah, I did. Okay, we're gonna undo a few things. Make sure we're good. Yeah, I totally broke this. Weird. Notifications. Good. Right sort of notifications to get. Alright. The issue is that my... You know what? Let's just show the debug stuff. Okay, so we've got world resolution. Why pick these colors for debug info? Let's get this red. I can see it, and then we're gonna get the UI resolution on there as well. Okay, we change the size, and the world resolution stays the same. Perfect. Now we jump back in here. We're gonna add the UI. Oh, that's not how I was doing it. So never mind. We'll just leave those the way they are. Let's take a look at these cameras. So the cameras look fine, but the problem is that they... Okay, we're gonna get you here. Okay, problem is that these things look like... Should have 3 of them. Okay, one of them was overlapping, that's why. So we want to do screen, world, UI. Screen should be my monitor size. Right, so screen. Yes, so the screen goes to here. So when I draw this, it's like in the wrong spot. So we've got screen resolution, world resolution. World resolution looks like, and we want to follow what it's doing. I think part of the issue is that I'm sharing stuff between them. Like this calculation here should be redone down here for UI space, except we'll get rid of the 3 declarations. Okay, so I mean, I kind of wanted it to do this, but the problem is that if I want to draw it here, okay, I see. So it's about scaling. See, we scale it. Okay. Problem is that this texture is not the size of the full screen, so it shouldn't be changing its position, whereas the screen, so when I draw to the actual, see, this is bad. screen. So I guess screen, one more time. Yeah, so screen resolution, that's right. That's how big my monitor is. But the problem is that when you look around, like if I go down here, this is actually this window width. It's not the, I guess that is right. That is right. Okay, so then we have here and here virtual screens. And the UI virtual is the same size. So that's okay. We use it here. World space camera. So that even makes sense. Oh, okay. So we are drawing to this texture. Now where are we rendering this texture? Because that's the issue. Is it's not rendering it to the same spot. So I could look at this vert rectangle. It says to render at the 0 space on the screen space camera. I guess that's kind of right. Let's scroll down here and take a look. So screen resolution, screen space, target X, target Y. Yeah, I mean the target's good. So what is the offset? We don't have that on here, so let's add the offset. Why am I using an I? Interesting. So we'll do OX, which will be float, and then we'll do OY, which will be a float. Let's keep it with the I's. Great, and then we can do int screen space camera offset X, and then int screen space camera offset Y. Great. Take that here and here. Great. Okay, so the issue is that this needs that. And then this needs to be deleted here and here and here. All right, so now one more check. Great, so everything's good. We changed the screen size. We got -56. This is being drawn here. Okay, great. So I'm a little bit closer now. Okay, instead of, we'll just do F, 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 F. Okay. World and UI is what matters. So, rendering to screen space. Rendering to camera space. Interesting. So we should be rendering to screen space camera. Good. So that puts us back on here. Okay. So if I want the UI to draw a certain way, I'd have to scale it a certain way. I want the UI to just appear in front of everything for that one. And then when I have like my editor UI, I can draw it directly on the screen, and it just works. Okay. So I would do screen render instead. Great, screen render. And then if I want to go a step further, I could scaled, screen render scaled. We'll add it there, we won't implement it right now. Scaled to UI, our world. Okay, so now that is complete. We would then have another one of these, but it wouldn't be texture mode. And it wouldn't be here. It would actually be down here. And it wouldn't be a texture. So you're drawing directly on the screen at this point. So you would want to do the VM call down here, because we do these two. So then it would be here. This would draw directly on the screen. So then we would do down here. Screen render. And then screen render scaled would be up above somewhere. All right. So now we take the next step, which is probably need to scaffold this a little bit. Right, so I would want it to be in the world camera space probably and have it be 2D. So I would just do begin draw 2D. We have begin 2D here, but I would do begin draw 2D worlds. Okay, so we begin drawing 2D. Begin mode 2D world space camera. That and mode 2D. Okay, that'll get me to similar point, and then I need to clear no, this is fine. Screen render. What happened here? You can get here. It's the issue. Oh, you need to have something. You need to have something loaded here, otherwise this won't work. So we're gonna do if DL loaded, be DLL active. Yeah. All right. Right. We're here going forwards. Bam. Increase the screen size. Press tab. Great. Now we have two things rendering. Perfect. Now I could go to the next step and have it be rendered scaled. So scaled to this world back here. And that would be perfect. But I think I need to make a render texture for that. Excuse me. Yeah, I need to make a render texture for that one. Excuse me. Drink some water. So the way I would draw this, what would I want to do? I would imagine that if I'm drawing something at the scale here, this would be later because this is more of a debug stuff. So then I would say here, yeah, okay. So let's just take a quick look at the render textures being made and just see how we did it and work with that. So we got a render texture here. You have to do load render texture. You need to know the dimensions. So I could just keep doing this. So it's loaded by default with that. So we've got a target here. Great. So every time I resize, I could make a new one, but I don't know. Is there a way to... If there's a way to change a render texture. Oh, I see. So I want to unload it as well. So whenever we do some resizing, I would unload it. So then I would say this, render texture 2D. They're going to say screen. So we've got UI. We got virtual UI. Where are we putting virtual at though? Let's just make sure what, I want to know what camera space we're using. World camera space. So this is the world virtual. Good. And then this is UI virtual. So now the next thing would be UI scaled. Scaled to screen is what I'll call the next one. Or screen scaled to UI. So that would give me something that would depend on the actual dimensions provided by the thing. So whenever I scale, we would do that. So let's think about this. The first time we're doing calc scale, where are you occurring? You're occurring here. So this is the first time it happens. So then that would be the current width. So then we would do this equals load render texture current screen width current screen height. That would get me my starting point. All right. Then I could render to this. Okay. Compute required frame buffer scaling. Yeah, okay. So it's a little off actually, because it can't be this width and height. We're gonna save that for a second. Okay, world virtual. Using the here and here. Render. We're drawing it down here. So the target is going to be the scale. Great. So then if I know just thinking out loud here. So I make this bigger. I know that I have like extra space on the right and the left. So what I could do is figure out, you know, how much space is on each side. Fill that out. Do I need what I'm doing right now? I don't actually need it right now. I guess I would need it if I wanted my editor windows to have the same size things. I also could just start drawing. I could scale it. Isn't that what we're doing? Take something small, we're scaling it up. So I could just scale everything that I'm drawing. But it's at a smaller size. But I don't think that matters actually. It's the same number for the scale. It's a good problem, but I feel like I'm going to spend a lot of time on something that's not so important. But I guess let me just think. I'm just going to think a little bit more here. So if I draw a rectangle, I'm going to want it to be, if I say I draw something that's 16 by 16 and I grow the screen to this size, then I open up this window, which I'll have on the right, I should be able to place things easily. And I'd want to be able to take advantage of the full screen resolution, but then there's the other issues like, well, wouldn't it be nice to just have the windows stay small and not grow and just draw it in the center? I guess when I'm doing the map editor, it would actually be better if it stayed this size, and then I gained all this extra space. Press tab. Now we're in map editor mode and you can't do anything. Just trying to speed up my work. So that would I'd have all this space here to work with. And then we're in game mode. We're back into this realm. See, that requires me to jump up a couple layers though. I wonder if I could set up a double window. I could, but I don't want to do that. All right. Spend all this time thinking about it. Why don't we just start moving along? I'm going to stop doing screen rendering. And I'm just going to go with the UI rendering for now. So what we'll do, press tab. I should allow the movement of the camera to happen doing WASD when we're in editor mode. Editor mode as a variable should exist, but the features that it provides will be hidden. So that means that this can actually live like that. And then I can use it to do checks. And we'll even initialize it to false. You won't be able to do anything with it, but it'll be initialized to false. Okay, and then let's go back. I guess there's multiple inits in here. No, there's not. Okay, so now yes, this stuff stays like that. What I would want to do then is kind of have sections based on the activity. So why don't we make an enum for it? Game mode. And then we'll have paused, playing, main menu, map editor. Great. So now if we are doing that, we can actually work a little bit better. I guess the toggling of tab will probably just have it toggle between a certain mode of my choosing. So then we want to go back to game state pointer, set up the game mode now. I'm going to do ability trigger. We're just going to do playing. Great. Tab. And we do if. Go to playing, else. if map editor great. Now that allows me to start what is it called, moving stuff around. So we're dividing things up. So if we are in a paused mode, then we don't want these timers happening. Nor do we want this stuff happening. So I would say from if mode playing. Okay. Okay, perfect. Great, quick freezing of the game. Okay. Great. Okay, we got our map editor. This entire section of the map editor is here, and so it works separately from everything else. Now we can add all of our movement stuff code in here, but everything happens instantly, so we're not going to do as much crazy stuff. One, we need to do trap.move camera. So why would I move the camera? I need to move the camera because I can't see the whole level because of the way things are set up. So I'd also have R, which would be reset camera to origin. Okay, we'll do trap underscore move camera move. We got two of them. That's fun. Why do we have two? Okay, they do the same thing. The one that starts with camera is probably the one I want. Get it back to origin, and then we can do kind of a game state pointer camera X camera pause dot X int. Then we'll do camera pause. How about editor camera position? No. When we come out of here, switch back to the regular mode, we can set the camera back to origin. Okay, D, what were we doing with D? D means we're moving to the right. X increases. Here, we're just getting the value. Great. And then here, A, we're going to decrease. Oh, this is already stupid. You don't know how stupid? It's going to not move fast enough. We should have it move, be pressed, and it move at 16 at a time. And that'll be way good. And also, let's not do it this way. Okay. Bam. Tap. There we go. I broke that. W means we're going up. A means we're going left. Oh, shoot. This is move camera. So where is trap set camera? Yeah. Okay, good. So we're gonna move is actually just gonna be the delta. Okay, that'll get that good, but we still need to get camera set. See what camera set is. Okay, we'll do the camera set target. There we go. XY. What? Move camera does what I just said it did. What am I doing wrong? This is fishy. Should have read it before you made all those changes. Run it again and see what you got. So what goes on here? Why'd this fail? Interesting. Okay, so we're messing with the X values. and we switch and we go left, left, up, down, 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 whatever, we're getting some mess ups here. We're setting things to 0. We don't need to set stuff to 0. We should only be changing things. Okay, great. We're back to it. Good. So then this allows me to say I have this thing here. I can move it so I can see what I'm working with and then move it around. So if it's on the right side of the screen, I'm not getting totally obliterated. Okay. Wonderful. So let's get this on the right side of the screen. We're going to get the virtual or render texture size, because that's what we need. And so I don't really care about the screen width, but I think we made it that way. So get width. Okay, trap get width. Window width. Window, game screen, it's game screen width. World screen. Is this the co-working support group for game devs? No, Pumpkin Seed. I don't need any support. Oh, world screen. Should be world screen. Okay. So then we do get world screen. Get world. Why is it called world height? I thought I just said screen height. Whatever. Okay, we got that. Two case statements. Great. Okay, and then we'll do virtual. So that would be world virtual. We get texture width. And then we'll do texture height. You need support, I'll answer your questions. But they better be good. Better be good questions. UI render, here we are. So now I should be able to do trap underscore world width, trap underscore get world screen width -5, -100, -5. Good, we're on the right side of the screen. Done. Now, I can start drawing my buttons. So I'll draw some buttons on top of that. They'll be green. But let's do a white thing around that. Great. So let's do a little bit of speed stuff. Okay, we got our engine up here, run. Great. So then we'll shrink this. Trap button. So we don't need trap, it's actually GGUI. GUI button. Okay, so I need to include the buttons stuff. So that's going to be in test build grid. And then we have our buttons. GGUI buttons is in here. Ah, shoot. Oh, no. I have to go and do that, don't I? So that would be a header file. And then is there any state in here? So we need mouse pointer data, which is going to be in this. So I would include that in my GUI library. That's not too hard. Would have been nice if I had already done this. So now we need to do a little bit of CMake. Okay, so that's going to get attached to this current project I'm on. So Puzzle Quest, we want to add a new header. We'll call this, since it's going to be in the Gear Games source, we'll call it GUI, like that. Then down here, what are we doing? That's the engine, it doesn't go there. This is gonna go, you know, we're not there yet to where we want to make a lib out of it. Comes in here asking a question if it's co-working / support group for game devs. I don't understand some of these questions. I really don't. Okay, good. We got the C and header here, so that should make it easier for me to find things. And then we could just throw it up here for fun. I don't know if it even matters. Great, we got that set up. Click here. Build, run. Okay, we've got something wrong here. Cannot find source file GGUI because I didn't add it yet. So we're gonna add that real quick. And there we go. ggui.c, and then we'll do ggui.h. Let's see what I'm doing. Bam, got it. Great. Build. Let's go. You gotta make me a coffee if you wanna be in a co-working space. You know what I mean? Papito, go make me a coffee. Unresolved GM reference in screen render. How? That's because we're running it. That's test build. We don't need that one. So, because we're not going to play test build for a while. Okay, we go in here. Boom. Doesn't work. Great. Build. Got it. Good. Include GGUI-H. Great. Jump down here. Stay out of that one. Is this the... See, now that's a good joke. Is this Unreal Engine? No. This is a C program. This is my own engine that I'm building. When I launch the game engine, you notice that it'll show this drop down here. And it says Puzzle Quest. So this is actually a DLL that I'm compiling in one of the projects. It's called a module, right? So when you run the exe, it goes and looks into this folder for all the DLLs it can find. And those are considered your games, right? My limited knowledge of it, C++ equals Unreal. I mean, that'd be a good guess, but this isn't C++ either. This is C. I'm not writing C++. I have no classes. I do have class, but I don't have any classes. So here, just Puzzle Quest. So this is what's getting built. I could go and build the other one. I just have to add a missing method is all. Because I'm building out my engine, and I added a new feature to the engine, and that broke the module. So right here it's missing GC screen render. So in here I would just do GC underscore. Okay, where is your, is it in DLL main? GC underscore screen render is missing GM render. Yes, okay, good. So I would just have to implement GM render in test build and have it do nothing. So we'll just do void this float delta time nothing. And I think I have some more of these somewhere, but that's that. Why do you use such arcane and ancient techniques? If you use Unity or Unreal, you are bound to them. They also take your money. The other thing is you lose a lot of control. So see, I have Puzzle Quest. And then I have this other game, which is a test build game. Now this game right here, it's actually a multiplayer game. And I don't want to play this one, so then I switch back to the other module and see it's a different game right now. So I can have multiple things running at once, and they're all helping me build out my engine. And then I have the game I'm working on right now, which is the puzzle game. And in here I'm building an editor. And during that process earlier, I was adding new methods to it. Why do I do the arcane process? Because I want more control. Also, like, I've been doing object-oriented programming for, let's see, almost 20 years I've been programming now. And some of the stuff you're taught in college is actually bogus, but you're not going to be able to get the industry to agree with you. And a lot of that bogus stuff is found in some of the object-oriented principles. Okay. So we need to get the map editor on fully now. And instead we're going to do game state pointer game mode app editor. Interesting. Did I break it? Game mode equals map editor. Yes, that's should be this. Arcane and ancient. It's funny. Try reading there's an article that you might benefit from that's hard to understand. Lifetimes. This would be a good thing to look through. Even though it's easy to do object-oriented programming, there's things you can learn from understanding some of the old ways of doing things. Ryan didn't come up with the idea of an arena allocator or a slice, but he did write a good article about trying to expose the things. And when you go and use like C#, which I'm pretty much an expert in, you miss out on a lot of the details and the nuance. So when it comes to performance, if you don't know what you're doing, you miss a lot of things. Why does this decide to kill all my stuff? Oh. Interesting. I don't know why that happened. Let's reload this. We'll reset the camera. Oh, yeah, 0, 0 is not it. You need to actually do camera. So reset camera is a function I need. Because it's resetting it to 0, but it actually needs to be set. Interesting. I wonder, I think I'm changing the wrong thing. Let's do this again. So here, when I press tab and I move it around, it's good, but when I reset it, it's good. So what happened there? Oh, when you do that, to that, to that. Interesting, so I don't get that. I guess I'm introducing my own fun set of bugs. Okay, we got the thing on the side. Let's make that twice as big. Twice as wide. 5 times, well, no. What is our screen height? I want it to be as tall as I want. -5, so we have a little bit of padding. Might as well make 5 the padding amount. So we'll do int 5 padding, or int padding top equals 5. We'll do bottom 5. We'll do left and right 5, and then if left and right, and then we'll change it as we see fit. I made this a lot more painful than it needed to be, but I'm okay with that. Padding top, padding bot. So this is the width. So how would we pad the bottom? We'd pad the bottom by changing our height. But the left and the right, there's only padding on the right for this one. And then for the buttons, it probably have its own padding, but everything could have the same padding for now. So then here, we would want height, and then we want to do -5 to get our bottom. So not only are we padding from the top, we're padding from the bottom. So then we actually want to get rid of padding bottom as 2 because it would be too big. And then what is our double O over here? Ilias says, what type of game are you creating? I'm creating a puzzle game. Height. Then we've already pushed down 5 from the top, so we want to take that away in that, so that's good. Draw a rectangle is size and then color. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We're missing one, which is the width, which I've had it be 100, but I said I want it to be 200. And then this is height, so we'll get that over here. Okay, so then next issue is that my width, these need to be the same, so we'll do int window width. I might have to make this a pattern ASAP, so I don't have to keep redoing these things. Okay. Great. So we have the full scale thing on the right. I'll make it 150. Great. Now I need just to add a bunch of buttons representing all the entity types in the game. And then we can draw them, and then we're good. So that would be for int for I equals or I less than. You know, I don't know if you can do this in C, but C get max of Eden. So that's what, 4? Whatever. We're not going to go that route. I'll just make a point to smart. Some people are geniuses. All right, zooming along. So here we want to do a GUI button. Okay, so I need to make sure I haven't moved all the code over. That was something I was supposed to do. So let's do that now. GUI button. So we want to go to the header. That. Okay. Okay, that one's done. And we want to go to the C file. C to include H. Unc, you better use ++I instead of I++. Compile. I don't care. I don't care, bro. You can backseat code somewhere else. I really don't care. I ain't mad. I just don't care. Go program in Rust. If it mattered, I'd do it, but I just don't see the point. Unc. Why do I keep getting called Uncle? Like, how old is everybody? Like 12? Let's see, how old would my siblings' kids be if they actually started having kids? They'd probably be about 10 if they started like when they should have. I guess that would make me an uncle. So you're like 10 years old? All right, we got that. We need to now get all this green stuff. Let's see. So we go back here. Puzzle. Let's do red. All right. Let me just do some math here. So minus. Yeah. You're right. You're right. I could be your uncle. You're right. I could be your uncle. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's not that big of a deal. C game public is the one I needed. I'm probably going to want to put it up here, so I will. Let's include C game public. Okay, so now we are here. I definitely want booleans. Let's do include standard bool. std bool.h. Okay, we've got that. We're good. And then I need the mouse pointer stuff, which let's see. It's so funny because I constantly am getting people coming in here and being like calling me uncle, and it is hilarious. Doesn't happen on Twitch, but hey, YouTube's different. I like YouTube a lot more than Twitch. Twitch is kind of boring. It's like really boring to be on Twitch. Nobody talks. They're kind of cringe. They're really cringe, actually. Like super cringe. Yes, you, Papito. Go to YouTube. Papito wasn't cringe today, but Twitch is like very sparse nowadays. All right, here we go. Did all that so we could try to add a button. Let's add that button then. Noob. And then we can do it at, set my X coordinates, my Y coordinates. Okay, what do we want X coordinates to be? I want it to be this value plus 5. And we could just do padding left. Great. Okay. X, and then we could have the Y coordinates be where I drew the top, which would be padding top. And we'll add 5 to that. Okay, and then we can have the buttons be like, question stays, why not switch to OpenGL like a man or a Vulcan? Man. Listen, bro. I'm okay with the fact you don't have good English, because I'm believing that you're ESL. But that sentence, you can work on it, okay? So why are you not, or why don't you switch to OpenGL or Vulcan and like a man? Why don't you be a man and do something tough? I already am. Bro. First off, I'm not using Unreal. Trigger warning. Triggered. First off, I'm not using Unreal Engine. Second off, I'm not using Unity Engine. Third off, I'm not using Godot. I'm writing my own. So it's like, meh, who cares? Like, let's see, window width. So I think window width, we probably want window width, but we want it to be, no we don't. We might want to switch it around. So I'll just do 50 to start, and then we'll do 20 up. And then we're going to do a little bit of this. Plus I plus 20 plus that, so we'll do 25. Okay. Run it. Also, how am I not using OpenGL? This thing's, oh, anyways, it's a lot of noob questions. Okay, tab. We got a noob here. It's only one button that's noob though, and it's still letting me click stuff to add stuff in the background. So let's see, and then that made me disappear. We got to world X of minus whatever that is. So I must have messed everything up. Let's see, so number of entity types. First off, that says 12. So it's the Y value that I'm supposed to be incrementing because I'm half awake. There we go. Sincerely apologizing to you, my dear uncle. Just saying, though. I need to get one of those text-to-speech things because you sound very funny. And it would be funnier to just put you... to listen to you.
Dear team, I hope this email finds you well. I wanted to remind everyone that the deadline for the quarterly report...
Man, wrong guy. Let's see.
Dear team, I hope this email finds you.
Dear team,
I can't believe we actually did it. The project is finally complete.
STD ranges is in C++. I'm programming in C, so I don't use it because it's not part of the language.
today, the government
And also,
announced new
I know how to.
economic measures
I'm
aimed
doing
at
ranges.
boosting small businesses, including
There we go. We'll do
tax
Stefan.
cuts.
Oh, this is awful. There we go.
Sincerely apologizing to you, my dear uncle. Just saying, though.
There we go. So that'll be you today.
Also, why don't you use the STD? Ranges and stuff.
Okay. I answered that one. I don't use STD ranges and stuff because STD is what you wrote was actually a C++ thing, which I'm not writing in C++. One way to know if somebody's writing in C versus C++ is you look at the file extension. So you can't see it on the right because of chat. But if you look up here, it's C files. And that's how you know the difference. So header files are the same across both C and C++. But these are all C files. Okay? So the answer to your question is I don't. I have to write them my own. I've already written in memory arenas. I've already written slices. I've got a whole bunch of memory management stuff that's really good. Don't need it. All right, here we go. I want to hear this. I wonder if it'll say the winky face. Let's see. All right.
I also do game dev from scratch using C++ OpenGL. My streams are tough UNC. If you want, go check them out.
Listen here, bro. You're in my stream. How do I get to your channel? If I regret it, you're fired. All right, let me just... Since I am actually streaming this on YouTube, I can actually look at your channels, whereas if you're like on someone else's, it doesn't work. Okay, so we've got one button here. It's supposed to have like 16, so it's time to look and see what I'm doing wrong. And I'm not gonna debug my memory leak if I have one on with you guys, because that's just a nightmare. You know. All right, we got that one. We should be increasing things as we go. For some reason, it's not doing this right. Find out in a sec. Okay, I'm gonna go to my channel. I'm gonna go to my chat and just see if I could find your channel, just so I could, you know, tit for tat, see what you're doing. See if it's anything interesting. All right. $10 subscribers. That's good. You do... Let's see what you got here. You do some streaming. You know, I'll take a look. I'll take a look. But you definitely achieved little cousin. Or is it little nephew? I'm going to call you nephew. Okay, Neff. I'll check your channel out. Imagine being a nephew. That's funny. Listen. Look at the most popular stream. It's my prime. Yeah, I'll check it out later. I'll check it out. And if I think it's cool, I'll subscribe. Oh, man. One of my favorite things that they started doing was calling people Lil Bro. I always thought that was funny. I first saw that on some Hitman stream. That was pretty good. Okay. Let's get this. Needs to show all of them. So let's see them real quick. See, I got my buttons and they're just like derping over here. It's totally not what it's supposed to be doing. It's not moving enough. Okay. Let's figure out what's wrong. So button height is 20. The coordinate for y is I. I did plus. Need to do times. Thanks, my dear uncle. There we go. Buttons. And then there's one of these for each entity type. I already have a really bad, poorly written, ill-advised thing that I'm using. But I can actually take it a step further. So we're going to do a little code generation for my nephew. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have a nephew. We'll see. All right. So I have a program that generates some code for me. So I don't have to write my slice arrays over and over again. And I also, since I don't have to use templating, it's even better, right? Okay. I'm wanting to write something that takes an enum, which I guess I'd have to not give it an enum. I'd have to scoffs loudly at the chat. Well, for guys like you that can't read, it's a little bit easier if I use this. If I use Visual Studio. But if I needed to, I could, go this route. Where is this? So this is, it's in the right folder. Let me just do Garrett Games. Let me do engine. Game engine. See, it doesn't even work. It's going to be in game source test build grid. Let's do puzzle. Okay, so it hasn't updated its thing, whatever. So I could totally just use my Vim bindings and just go for it. If that is what you need, I mean, I could help you out, I guess. Let's see what we've got in here. Should be showing my current game. Why is this stupid? So let me just check something real quick. So yeah, it's not going to be in this folder. It's going to be in that one. Okay, and then we do puzzle. I could, that's the point. I could. I know all the stuff, but right now it's just kind of takes me less time to jump to use Visual Studio, even though I'm really good at Vim. If I was writing some stupid language, maybe, but this has enough features that I don't care enough. Okay, so what I want to do is get it to take one of these and generate it, or in a different way, I'd want to manage my code generation for an enum over here. Not to brag about it. You asked the question, bro. You asked the question. But yeah, I mean, I know Vim. I'm very good at Vim, and I have Doom Emacs, which is the Vim motion bindings for Emacs. So Emacs is like an operating system. So now I have like a superpower tool plus my Vim motion. So I'm like super fast, but it's just you got to find the time and the place for it. So I'm thinking I might make another one of these T4 templates to generate my enumerators in a way that's like a little bit better. Because right now, like I'm gonna want this. So num of entity types. This is such a cool trick. And so I'd want it to take a name, and then I'd want to add string values, and then I'd want to have it finish off with the the types. And let's get this to match the names. So then this template's really easy to write. And we'll just put, and then this doesn't need to be types. So then we do number entity type. And we put an S at the end there. So then we have it singular, plural, number entity types. I could even do this to make it even more clear. Number of entity types. Yeah, I broke that. That's okay. We'll just do number of. Also, you better use matrices for translation. Just a little tip for new dev. Man, bro, you are high. I don't think this guy knows. I've been doing this stuff for a long time, but not game dev. Okay, you got it. You got it. I've only been doing game dev for on and off here and there, but you know, you better use matrices. You're using matrices for translation now. You're using Google Translate. All right, let's go. I'm actually just having fun. So let's see. I think what I can do is I can make some sort of thing in C#. Just let's make a stupid model for this. I jump in here. Let's add a folder. And then we'll just make some enum object. Okay, and then in here we'll do we'll call it enum name. I swear I write my own code. You can tell by how dumb I write. Duh. Well, you could definitely write your own code. That's fine. But the other stuff, you gotta work on that. Alright, so this is a T4 template, and I need it to generate the code. I need to provide this thing a few options. I'm gonna need a loop in here as well, which is a pain in the butt, but should be easy. So let's make one. So what I need, I'll point out the goal here. I'm going to keep adding new entities to the game, and I need to be able to convert or return a string of the type name based off of, I need to basically put this value into a target buffer based off of the ID number. Never have I ever said code unc. Vision deceiving me. Okay. Got it. You're right. You didn't say that. Let's see. Just use Sea Lion. Okay. Now this guy here who just chatted, he might actually have a brain. Because I've heard of Sea Lion before. Okay, never mind. Alright, so it's one of JetBrain IDs. I thought he was suggesting me like a code generation library or something, but since not, we'll move on. Welcome Piracy lover. All right. For now, I don't need to. I'm just gonna write it for now, manually, and then we'll deal with it later. So what I want to do is have the buttons actually have the entity type name on it, and I think I could have a couple versions of it. One is the name, one's the entity underscore name, and then I could really speed up this process because these buttons on the right, they just say noob. But if I could have the icon on there and have the name, I don't need that stuff. I don't. I'm just making myself busy work. I just need to render the thing here, and it'd be good enough. But then I have to write the method to render it for each of them, which isn't hard. All right, well, I like having the button say noob for now. We'll just take this stuff here. This wasn't hard to write anyways. And then we can do C. So we want to pass in a buffer, and then we want to just print to the buffer based off of the input. And I want to have it outside of level load. Nah, I could have it in here. Okay, so we're going to do this void PQ. We could do this. We'll do int entity type. Then we could do the buffer, which we'll just do char pointer buff. Great. And we take this. Okay, and then we have our buffer. And then if, so we'll do all of these, we'll just do an else there, and then we can end it with an else. Sprintf derp. And then we could, where's my, we don't need to do this. Do this, derp that entity type. Great. We're done. All right. Just use CLion, bro. You know what's funny is like how much people focus on other people's tools instead of doing stuff. Wow, what is that thing? It looks like a squirrel. Welcome, Prosto Cut, whatever your name is. We'll let my text-to-speech buddy do it for me. Hey, how's it going? Finally! Twitch people coming alive. It took only a few hours.
Prostocotolo.
Prostocotolo. Wow. What on earth? Okay, we've got all these guys here. And let's run that method I made. Very easy to get distracted. Okay, Puzzle Quest. I should probably create a buffer for this so I don't have to keep making it. We'll do buff, and then we'll pass in the I, and then we'll do a this and that. Okay, and then no, you don't do that. You do this, and then you pass in a buffer. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's wrong. Window width -5, but we have the front side, we have a padding of 5, so we got to do it twice. So it's the padding left that we need to add. Take out. Great. And then, you know, when I'm doing these buttons, they really should be padded like by 1 or 2 pixels from the left side. Otherwise it looks kind of stupid, so we'll do that. Okay. Let's do at least 5 pixels. Okay, great. Okay. Let's check this in real quick. That's big enough. That's too big. What are you cooking here? I'm making a puzzle game. So each of these guys are going to have different abilities. And you solve puzzles. Only the red guy is going to be able to jump. The other guys will be able to attack. One will be able to defend. And so you have to use them to solve puzzles. There'll be switches, levers, wall buttons, a whole bunch of things. So it'll be fun. All right, thanks, Pepito. Have a good one. Matter of fact, I gotta bounce right now. All right, thanks everybody for joining. This is not a normal stream. I wasn't working today, so I got to do this. But Saturdays, I typically stream from 9 till about noonish. So if you want to see more of me, just, you know, do the annoying social media thing of following or subscribing. All right, guys. So I'll see y'all then. And I hope my nephew shows up next time. I'll check out his channel for 2 seconds, and then, you know, we'll downvote everything. But otherwise, we're good. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.